If you sign the greatest shot-blocking goalkeeper in the world, you might inadvertently stall your team's entire tactical machinery. This pitch map shows a shift in the position's geography. Modern goalkeepers now act as integrated playmakers, with over 30% of their passes occurring entirely outside the penalty area. Two regulatory shifts defined this change. The 1992 backpass rule forced keepers to develop footwork, while a 2019 modification allowed center backs to receive goal kicks inside the 18-yard box. These changes expanded the build-up geometry, pulling defenders deep and pushing the goalkeeper into the defensive third to generate numerical superiorities. When a manager's system clashes with a keeper's profile, the friction is immediate. David De Gea is an elite classical shot stopper, but his limited range of passing meant Manchester United often struggled to sustain the possession-heavy build-up Erik ten Hag required. Pure talent is no longer a sufficient metric for recruitment. A team's success relies on mapping a goalkeeper's specific archetype to the manager's tactical principles. We start with the purists, the traditional linekeeper and the dedicated shot stopper. Managers who deploy a compact low block, like Diego Simeone, prioritize keepers with massive physical frames who can dominate the goal line when space behind the defense is minimal. These profiles focus on biomechanical positioning to maximize their save success rate. They are often evaluated by their expected goals saved, or XG saved, which tracks their ability to prevent high-probability shots from crossing the line through superior reflexes and reach. A variation of this is the reflex keeper. Instead of attempting to catch high-velocity, close-range shots, they rely on rapid down-up speed, the ability to execute a full extension dive and return to a balanced set position for a secondary save within a fraction of a second. To handle high-speed impact, they employ specific hand geometries. Thumbs meet behind the ball in a W shape for head height shots, while index fingers and thumbs form a triangle shape to absorb the kinetic energy of low, hard drives and parry them safely away. While purists excel at goalmouth protection, their stationary positioning becomes a liability the moment a defensive line pushes forward, leaving the space behind the center backs unprotected. When structure breaks down inside the penalty area, teams rely on the box bosses to restore order. These are profiles specialized in neutralizing aerial threats and physically organizing the defensive shape. The commanding and aerial keeper uses timing and physical bravery to intercept high crosses at their highest point. Petr Cech remains the benchmark for this profile, utilizing his frame and precise organization to set the Premier League record for most clean sheets. If the defense is breached, the 1v1 specialist acts as the final barrier. They operate on a strict decision-making tree, edging out slowly to keep their feet set, then narrowing the target area the moment an attacker takes a heavy touch or drops their head to shoot. This comparison shows their two primary mechanics. They deploy a split block against central rushes to cover both high and low angles simultaneously, or a long barrier to drop a knee to the turf and smother heavy touches at the attacker's feet. This command also extends to communication. The vocal organizer coordinates the defense using short 1- to 2-syllable phrases like step up or tuck in. By keeping commands brief and commanding, they maneuver defenders without introducing hesitation. Success in the 18-yard box relies on this total structural command of every defender in the vicinity. For teams that employ high pressing or possession-based systems, the traditional boundaries of goalkeeping have shifted significantly. The sweeper keeper functions as a deep-line defender. Their agility and decision-making allow them to intercept long through balls far beyond the penalty area before an attacker can reach them. This pitch layout illustrates their tactical impact. By acting as a defensive safety net, a sweeper keeper allows a team to push their defensive line from a conservative 36 meters to a highly aggressive 43.5 meters away from their goal. Manuel Neuer established the standard for this archetype, using aggressive positioning to sustain attacking pressure and initiate rapid transitions. Further forward is the ball-playing keeper. They act as a third center back during the build-up phase, comfortably receiving the ball under physical pressure to guarantee an 11 versus 10 numerical overload against the opponent's press. These systems are often rounded out by a distribution specialist. This profile uses sidewinder volleys and overarm slings to instantly bypass the opposition block, transforming a claimed cross into a direct assist for their team's strikers. In modern build-up structures, the goalkeeper dictates the offensive geometry, turning deep possession into a calculated attack. Even the penalty shootout has been reevaluated. Sports science has demonstrated that saving a spot kick is a technical discipline rather than a game of chance. Penalty specialists rely on biomechanical patience, often delaying their dive by an additional 160 milliseconds. This allows them to read the orientation of the kicker's plant foot rather than guessing a direction early. They also use situational control and delay tactics to affect the kicker's composure. By mastering these psychological cues, a specialist can reduce a shooter's conviction, altering the statistical probability of the save in their favor. The penalty specialist doesn't just react to a shot, they master the timing and the opponent's mind to dictate the outcome. A team's ability to maintain a high press or circulate possession from the back is dictated by which of these archetypes is on the pitch. Matching a traditional linekeeper to a possession-oriented system creates structural friction that talent alone cannot overcome. When you watch a match, look past the acrobatic saves. Watch where they stand during build-up, observe their hand shapes on impact, and track their passing targets. From this perspective, the goalkeeper is the master control hub for the entire 11-man unit. The modern goalkeeper has become a primary playmaking hub, the first line of attack, and the essential coordinator for how a team moves.